On that day, an old woman who made me do a double take showed up for the interview. She was wearing tattered clothes and emanated a foul odor. For a moment, everyone thought a homeless person had mistakenly wandered in. However, the moment she told the receptionist,
I'm here for an interview.
the room froze.
Can you believe someone like her at our company?
As the president, James is in for a tough one having to interview her.
Employees grimaced, hoping she would leave soon. I was certainly shocked by her appearance too, but that wasn't reason enough to turn her away. The receptionist glanced at me for approval, and I nodded, then headed to the meeting room. Frankly, the smell was so intense it was hard to sit across from her in that small room.
Here's my resume.
When I saw the resume she handed over timidly, I was even more astonished and said, "You're hired. When can you start?" My name is James Harwood, 42 years old. I run a small IT company. Things hadn't gone smoothly since the startup, and gradually it had become much tougher. We were nearly bankrupt, and some employees had sensed that and left. Despite my best efforts, we were strapped for cash. We couldn't secure loans from banks, nor did we have anyone else to turn to. On top of that, I was dealing with a divorce at home. It was truly a dead end in every direction. In a situation that felt like a dead end no matter where I looked, every morning began with nothing but despair. The more I thought, I must do something, the more I rushed and ended up spinning my wheels, a pattern I'd already experienced far too often. I knew better than anyone that both my company and my personal life were at an impasse. Neglecting home life while burying myself in work was my fault.
Hey, is it too much to ask to celebrate our anniversary? A nice dinner or a gift, is that really too much?
On that day too, when I came home late at night, my wife named Mandy unleashed her complaints on me. When I returned home dragging my exhausted body, only to be accused by her with glaring eyes, there would be no way to be kind. At least, it was impossible for me. I can't help it, I was at work. You do remember I'm the president of this company? After that exchange, she had enough of me and left. I found out later that she had been seeing someone else for some time. As she left me, employees also started abandoning the company and me. It was a situation where everything that could go wrong did. Just then, on that interview day, the shabby old woman showed up. When I looked at her resume, neatly written Emma Nora, I was taken aback. Emma had several difficult IT certifications listed. Until then, I had wondered, why would such an old woman be interested in our company? However, in that moment, it was as if a bolt of electricity shot through me. Ms. Nora, you're hired. When can you start? I immediately decided to hire her and told her that. She seemed pleased at first but quickly looked down again.
Actually, I'm even struggling to find a place to live. I'm happy to be hired, but I can't come to work in this condition, can I?
Indeed, it would be a problem to have her work while emitting such a strong odor. Besides, it was clear she didn't have the money to immediately fix that. After thinking that over for a bit, I suggested, would you like to come stay at my place?
Excuse me?
She exclaimed in surprise. I quickly reassured her. Of course, I don't mean it in a weird way. We have a completely private room with a lock, so you can be assured of your safety. Still seeming uneasy, she listened as I continued. Actually, my wife just left me, and the divorce isn't finalized yet. Things are tough at the company too, and I really can't afford much. If you don't mind, she left some clothes behind that you can use. Hearing that, she seemed a bit moved.
If that's the case, may I take up your offer?
She said with smile. However, I had to be clear with her about one thing. Just so you know, this company is on the brink of disaster. If you're still okay with that. Her eyes lit up with determination as she looked me straight in the eye.
When I tried to have an interview, I was always turned away at the entrance. No one has ever been willing to hire me and offer a place to live until now.
She must have been through a lot. I could see tears welling up in her eyes.
Mr. Harwood, now that you are willing to go this far for a stranger like me, I will definitely reciprocate your kindness. I'll repay this debt.
With that, she moved into my home on that very day. Mandy had told me to dispose of her things as I saw fit, but with all the busyness, I hadn't gotten around to it. Fortunately, a loungewear, which Mandy had worn after bath, fit Emma perfectly, since Emma seemed to be about the same size as Mandy. Emma looked so neat and young after cleaning up that I felt guilty for ever thinking she looked like an old lady. Although I hadn't noticed at first, she was actually quite beautiful and well-proportioned. It was unbelievable that she was indeed 48 years old, looking no older than her early 30s. The following day, when Emma started working, I was astonished.
Wait, that's the old lady from yesterday?
Who is she, really?
The staff was full of admiration for her incredible skills. Not only was she skillful, but she gradually began to offer business advice as well.
Excuse me. I know it's not my place to say this, but maybe we could try changing things like this?
Her tentative suggestions were all spot on, and the company began to recover at an astonishing pace. All the employees as well as me acknowledged her abilities. Her presence became something special, not just for the company but also for me. It was thanks to Emma that the company came back to life. I deeply appreciated her contributions and came to trust her immensely. Emma, thank you for everything. It's thanks to you that the company has come this far. As I expressed my gratitude, she replied modestly, shaking her head.
Please don't mention it. I am the one who should thank you. If you hadn't picked me up at that time, I'd still be lost on the streets.
She expressed her gratitude, recently having become even more beautiful. Her passion for work might have made her shine beautifully. Moreover, she seemed truly happy to be needed. Watching her work so vibrantly each day, I found my heart stolen. Yet, I couldn't let those feelings be recognized, falling for Emma, who was an employee of mine and living in my own home. I desperately tried to keep a lid on my feelings. A president and a subordinate, a relationship beyond that could never be realized. Rather, that shouldn't even be considered. Although we had built a complete trust at work, she rarely spoke about herself. She was a woman shrouded in mystery. Then one day, a man showed up at the company.
Hey, is there a woman named Emma Nora around here?
Emma turned pale to hear the loud voice of the man at the reception.
Sam!
As she stood up, his gaze sharpened even more.
You've caused me so much trouble. I'm here to take you back.
Seeing him shouting angrily made her tremble. This isn't just a simple matter. Realizing that, I quickly approached her to ask what was going on. What's this all about? Shaking, she briefly explained her situation. The man was her husband, named Sam Nora, age 55. As I listened to her story, he kept raising his voice.
I can't manage without a housekeeper, even a woman like you.
It seemed he had treated her almost like a slave at home. She couldn't stand a life without any freedom, and after running away, she ended up homeless when her money ran out. I was shocked to learn she was married, but knowing she had suffered so unjustly, I felt a deep desire. I want to protect her. Originally, Emma was a career woman working at a major IT company. Among her male colleagues attracted to her beauty and competence, some pursued her even knowing she was married. Jealous and trembling, Sam forced her to quit her job. Since then, she had lived in fear of his domestic violence, treated almost like a slave. Yet, she had always hoped to escape that situation and had secretly continued to hone her IT skills. Now that I knew about her hidden struggles, I stood in front of Sam, who had barged into the office. I was determined to protect Emma. However, the situation took an unexpected turn the next moment. Seeing the business card he handed me, I was stunned. It bore the name of a major client of ours and the title, Executive.
If you interfere with me, it would be easy for me to cut off the dealings with your company.
Faced with such a threat, I turned pale, and the employees watching the situation were also shaken. Just when the company had recovered its performance, we faced the risk of bankruptcy again. Such a thought crossed all our minds. Protect Emma, or protect the company. I was torn between those two choices. Nevertheless, it didn't take long for me to make a decision.
Emma, what do you want to do? If you want to go back to him, I won't stop you, but if you want to stay here, I'll protect you with all I've got.
Hearing that, she seemed to make up her mind as well.
I don't intend to go back to him. I want to continue working here, under James.
She stated firmly, and I nodded in agreement.
She doesn't want to go back, and I respect that decision. Even if it means our dealings are cut off, I will definitely protect her.
When I declared that, the employees followed suit.
Emma is one of us.
If she says she doesn't want to go back to you, forcing her isn't right.
As we spoke, she even had tears in her eyes.
Emma is the one who turned this company around. With her, I believe we can find new clients.
I did state that strongly. At that moment, I was again aware of my feelings for her. I decided to stop lying to myself about my feelings. Someday, I would confess to her. That was also the moment I resolved. What with Emma not wanting to go back, and what with the employees and me standing up to protect her, such a situation couldn't be amusing for Sam.
Are you guys underestimating me?
The moment Sam lunged at me furiously, I deliberately fell with a loud thud and pretended to be in pain. Ouch. Sensing my intent, some employees followed suit.
James, are you okay?
Isn't this a clear case of assault?
As the employees confronted him, he panicked and tried to flee, grabbing Emma's arm against her will. However, there was no way we were going to let that happen. Several employees blocked their path, preventing them from leaving. As I got helped up, the police I had called earlier arrived. Sam was arrested on the spot for assault and disrupting business. I couldn't help but be pleased that, with quick thinking and the cooperation of my employees, we had managed to turn the situation around. Even outside of work, we were the best team. Later, the CEO of the client company came to visit our office.
I'm truly sorry for this incident. We fired that man, so could you please consider settling this matter amicably?
As a condition for the settlement, he arranged for a quick divorce for Emma. Because Sam had ingratiated himself with the previous CEO to rise to an executive position, he had been a thorn in the side. He had been all bluster and no substance, so his absence was actually a relief for the CEO. After that, with a lawyer's help, Emma finalized her divorce. She was finally free. Thus, feeling fully prepared, I was able to express my feelings for her.
Emma, I like you. You saved our company from bankruptcy, and I hope we can continue to work together for a long time.
To those words, she smiled warmly.
As I've said before, it was me who was saved. Besides, I also have feelings for you.
Saying that, she kissed me, which made me realize that my love was fulfilled. We vowed to continue working together to advance the company's success.
With your help, our company can surely soar globally.
I said with a smile, and she smiled back gently.
You are my wings. With you, we can fly wherever we want.
We were full of hope for a new bright future.